Hello, friends. It's your host slash editor, Hannah, just jumping in real quick at the beginning to confess to an audio crime. So this week when we recorded, I had a shirt on that I unwittingly, it was just bumping up against my mic stand the whole time that I was talking. So there was just a little underlying sort of annoying vibration noise underneath all of it. I did manage to isolate that and eliminate it. However, it does mean that my audio in this episode in some places sounds a little bit like I'm like talking into my microphone through like a paper towel roll. So will go away next week. I'll never wear that shirt to record again. You'll hear that it was blue. So I'll never wear a blue shirt to record again. I'm so sorry. Mea culpa. I love you all. And I'll talk to you next week. And then also in a couple seconds. Bye-bye. Did you like show and tell, or should I go back to really excited about?
I like show and tell.
Okay. I should definitely write something down for it next week. Okay. Hello, welcome to WayTooBroad. It's like
Show and tell for adults. No.
Okay, no.
That's
welcome to WayTooBroad, the show and tell program for grown-ups.
Program has to be in there. I think that's great.
Yeah.
That's what I was missing. I was like, where's that special sauce? Oh, there it is. In program.
There it is. We found it.
Yeah. I'm Hannah, your competent
and I'm
host,
Hannah.
and my co-host.
And I'm Hannah.
And Erin.
As well. Hi, Hannah.
Everybody's going to be confused. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, I'm Hannah. Did I do that right?
Well, now everyone's going to think he's Hannah.
Well, we'll just have to take that risk. I'm definitely not going to start over, so.
This is a Silly Friday edition of WayTooBroad.
In case you hadn't noticed, yeah.
More like a tired Friday, am I right, guys? Long week. I
need to tell our listeners that 2 out of 3 of the co-hosts this week are matching. They're twinsies. We've got 2 red shirts on the show today.
That's
Erin
right.
and Ben.
That's right.
Yeah. And I have a blue shirt on.
A blue shirt.
I survive.
Coming in with the blue. The opposing team's wearing blue.
Yeah, we're really setting up like this sort of oppositional dynamic ever since the webs. Oh my god, we haven't talked about the. Hang on. All right, getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh, we haven't.
Erin, what are you drinking?
Hey, I'm drinking a Negra Modelo.
Ooh.
Here's a fun fact. This is one of my very favorite beers of all time. I just love this beer. In a world of craft beers that I also enjoy, porters, stouts, deliciously dark, yummy fall beers, chocolatey mocha stouts, peanut butter porters. I love, at the end of the day, hand me a Negra Modelo, and I'm a happy camper. So that's what I have today.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
What an inspiring message somewhere in there.
Yeah.
For the teens.
I think so.
For the teens.
For the teens. I feel like I could be arrested for that somehow.
Okay. Ben, what are you drinking?
I got a cup that's mostly ice.
Oh, man, that's a classic.
Yep. I did it again because I ran upstairs, basically was just walking real fast. Oh, Como.
Whoa.
Our view of Ben just got eclipsed.
Oh, there goes Ben.
Again, by Como the cat.
He's just sitting behind the computer.
Oh, he's cute.
How is he? What was that? His face?
Yeah. That was like his chin.
Yeah, that was the hairs of his chinny chin chin.
Yeah, I was real thirsty when I got home, so I poured this and then drank most of it before we started in a classic Ben move.
That is
classic Ben.
Classic drink and classic delivery.
Yep. Yeah. Classic sweaty boy.
Hannah, what are you drinking? You've got a sheen. Okay?
Yeah.
You've got a little California sheen.
Charlie. Yeah. I'm drinking the juice of 2 apples.
Such a tiny cup. Listeners, it looks like a one of those like tall, skinny, curvy glasses of beer, except it's very small. It's so tiny. It's almost like the size of a kind of a large shot glass.
Yeah, it's basically like the size of a double shot glass, but it's like designed like a beer glass. It was a tasting glass from Brewery Omegang in upstate New York, which is a great place. Everyone should go there. It's not my obsession this week, but it's
well. Then
it's
why
a
are you
fun
talking
place to
about
visit.
it?
Shut up, Ben. Why are you talking about your cat?
He's always my implicit obsession. I always have 2 obsessions, and one of them's Como.
Okay. My cat. So that's the juice of 2 apples.
What? What did you say?
The juice of 2 apples.
This is the juice of 2 apples, apparently. Again, it was delivered to me without warning, which I think is part of the spell. I'm not sure.
Does it have other stuff in it? Like last week's drink?
No.
Okay.
No other stuff.
No other stuff. Okay.
Definitely just 2 apples. I also have a seltzer, pomegranate cherry seltzer. I don't know how he juiced these 2 apples.
Do you have a juicer?
How do you? Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay.
But
I think he probably used that.
It just like wasn't set up or anything
Or his
when
fist.
I came in here.
Does he know how to set it up?
Maybe he has a mighty grip.
He just
Yeah, that might
squeezed
be
it.
Like a juicero bag. That was for somebody who pays attention to like dumb startups. That was for them.
Cool.
So I'm gonna leave it in.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I got. So then now we need to talk about the website that Erin finally set up as promised many weeks ago.
Yeah, I totally, many weeks ago, sorry, I'm looking at this picture of Coma behind Ben's computer. That's cute. Many weeks ago, I was like, go to erinben.com and you will see a picture of me, just me and Ben. And then for 2 weeks, I didn't do that. But guess what, listeners? I delivered on our promise. So you can go to www.erinben.com and...
Well, Erin Ben.
Sorry. Oh my god, I suck. Cut that out. So go to www.earnben.com, ERNBEN.com. And if you're on the computer, hover over the picture. If you're on a phone, click on it and see what happens. Enjoy.
It's great. It's a great website.
I spend $12 a year on that website.
Worth it. Worth every penny.
I think it's worth it. I had some Photoshop skills in there. I had some website skills in there. Just on display.
I have a question.
On full display. Yeah.
You took that picture to match the one that I already had, right?
Yeah, I did.
I love that. That's great.
Thanks.
Thank you. Music?
Is that music?
So just so yeah, I think actually this could be a good sort of thing for people to know, because a lot of people who listen maybe don't know exactly what we look like. So this if you go to this website, you actually can see all 3 of our faces. And I'm not going to ruin the surprise, but Erin and Ben are the ones that are featured prominently and first on the page.
Because it's earnben.com.
I know. I'm not happy about it, but I understand.
I think it's
one day
about time we have a spin-off podcast called Earn Ben that's just us. Leave Hannah in the dust, and then we use that URL for that website.
Or what I was about to say is that somebody really important could start... I didn't mean that. Somebody really important could run for some really important office, and their last name would be like Earn Ben, and then I'll sell that website domain for like thousands of dollars.
Hell yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll be like a really terrible person, and then I'll keep it and use it for their like opponent. So either one of those. Good. So I'm gonna sit on that puppy like an egg.
You don't hatch puppies. What's wrong with you?
terrible mixed metaphor. I'm sorry. That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, that's if you want to know the origin of that joke, you gotta go back a couple episodes. I don't know. As I've told everyone, you should just listen to all of them.
Just listen to all of them. We can't help you. We don't know how to help you. Please just listen to all of them. If you're confused at any point,
if
you're confused at any point about anything we say, go look on the website. Maybe it's not going to be on there, and go look and listen to all our things.
Yeah, just listen to all. This is the best. This is the easiest way.
Yeah,
just listen to all of them. I can tell you which episode. Episode 58. You can hear the origin of that joke somewhere in the middle of it.
More like schmifty late.
Yep. Okay, let's see. What else is up front for everyone? What's our upfront stuff?
Well, Ben's Baseball Corner is officially dead.
Yeah. Jackie Bradley Jr. won a Gold Glove finally. So there's that. Okay.
We don't know what that is.
Every year, the league gives the Gold Glove award to the best fielder at each position. So Jackie Bradley Jr. won the Gold Glove for center fielders. And Mookie Betts won for right field.
Wow. Is it a really literal gold glove?
The statue is. Or the trophy
cool.
is like a gold glove, yeah.
Cool.
Hell
Did they do that in Cooperstown?
I don't think so, no.
All right. That's now the end of Ben's Baseball Corner. Bye-bye.
R.I.P. Till next season. See you next season, Ben's Baseball Corner.
Nerds.
See you, nerds.
Anybody have any upfront stuff?
Well, I got back on my on the horse of I got back on the horse of making videos out of clips from our show.
And they're good.
Last week, finally.
They're good videos.
Thank you. I enjoyed those clips very much, so I made them into fun videos. And we did have a couple people share them, a couple fans share them with their various feeds, so that was nice.
Hell yeah.
And thank you. Shout outs to Aunt Brown and to Eamon from But Yeah, and the But Yeah group, because they both shared them independently. And also shout outs to Uncle Brown, my dad, for posting on his Facebook and then thus his Twitter, just like a general promotional thing about how he likes WayTooBroad, even though we have a lot of in-jokes and giggles.
Hey, well, thanks, Uncle Brown and
Thank
Aunt
you.
Brown and the whole cast of But Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, Uncle Brown, keep your criticism to yourself.
It wasn't. It's more like a warning than criticism. But...
We have a lot of out jokes, too. I have kind of a upfront thing, which is also kind of a
backfront
thing.
Okay.
Back
it's not
thing.
The opposite of back.
It's a down back thing. A thing I normally say at the end.
Okay.
I did a new lesbian movie review.
Yes, you did.
And I'll tell you what, I had such fun doing it, and I hope to do one again this weekend too. I just had a ball doing it. Loved it.
That's great.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks. And it, it got a lot of likes, and it got, just trying to use my platform for good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're both back on our Instagram shit.
Yeah. Yeah, way to go, Hannah.
Way to go, Erin.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to
go. Ben's doing school. That seems pretty big time.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Time busy. Yeah.
Just a lot of stuff to do.
I just opened a new tab and I have this plugin that makes that generates cartoon cats with different names every time I open a tab.
Aww.
And this cat is called Sir Rainbow, and he's an ever-changing range of colors.
See, that's some out content.
Yeah, exactly. Do we want to talk any about the elections, or should we save that?
Oh my god, I haven't checked what the latest update on my district is. So we're gonna get live reactions to that.
Cool.
Okay, but yeah, it was. It wasn't like there was definitely a point early in the night when I was afraid that it was going to be a repeat of 2016, and I was terrified. And we didn't, win every race we might have wanted to win, and some of them are yet to be determined. But over 100 women were elected to office in the House.
So great.
Mm-hmm. And a ton of history-making candidates were elected.
Sorry, you froze up. I really did not mean to interrupt you. Is Georgia and Florida still up in the air?
Yes.
Yes.
Although the president would like you to think otherwise.
Well.
Yeah.
So my district, last time I checked, the Republican had a 3-point lead, and right now it's down to 1%. It's only 2,000 votes.
Wow.
So that hasn't been called yet.
Ooh-wee.
Wow.
Wee-ow. We finished Big Mouth, and that was so freaking good. Season 2, Big Mouth Season 2.
Big Mouth's great. Oh, Ben, I started watching Critical Role. We're on episode 4 right now.
Are you liking it?
Yes, we're like
good.
Are you getting over that one person doesn't look like that one actress?
Yeah, we've moved past it.
I'm so glad to hear that.
I do see what he meant sometimes about the way that she moves. I can see where he was coming from.
I guess.
She moves just like that one actress. Have I ever told you, Hannah, that you move just like Jeff Goldblum? Sometimes I'm like, oh, corner of my eye, is that? Okay, no, it's just Hannah. Oh, whoo. Man, I'm always thinking that. Is that Jeff? Oh, it's not.
Is that Jeff?
You guys just move so much alike, I can't help it.
I was like, oh, hey there, Hannah. That explains.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's true.
Embarrassing how much I do that.
Did you?
I'm like, Hannah's in this. Oh no, this is Jeff Goldblum. I thought Hannah was in this movie. Oh my god.
Did you see? I saw a tweet about Jeff Goldblum the other day that was like, something about how someone met Jeff Goldblum at a party, and when they were introduced, he was like, "Oh, of course!" And then he was like, "Oh, he knows who I am." And then, like, he heard him do that to every other person he was introduced to.
Yeah.
It's just such a fucking. I just love that. I love Jeff Goldblum.
What a guy!
Have you guys seen? Have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
No,
he's in that. He's fucking funny.
Yes, I have seen it. He's extremely funny in that. I always forget how wonderful Jeff Goldblum is.
Well, he's always top of mind for me because I always am reminded of him when I see you. So.
It's what's funny about that. At first, when you said that story, Ben, it kind of came off as like a little disingenuous, like the way that politicians are always like, "Oh, it's so nice to see you," instead of meet you, because then it's like covering their bases in case they've ever met them before and making them feel more familiar and stuff. But I also feel like Jeff Goldblum being who he is, that it might just be like his genuine reaction to meeting every person. Like, of course that's who you are, and that's so wonderful.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So then it's Erin's turn first. I don't know if we want to just go ahead and pop in.
Freaking pop.
Let's pop.
Let's pop. Erin's been dying to tell us about her obsession this week.
I've been so obsessed, you guys. I have just been so obsessed. Here's how obsessed I am. I usually don't tell Molly what I'm obsessed about. I usually don't tell her what I'm obsessed about. And I usually don't talk about the thing I'm obsessed about to her. Just so she has a pristine WayTooBroad listening experience. But I just have not been able to resist. Have absolutely been spreading the gospel.
So you took that away from her this week.
I took that away from her selfishly. I chose my own agenda and feelings over hers this week for this obsession. Mm-hmm. Brand new thing I've never brought to the table before.
Ooh.
It's a lesbian fiction audiobook. That was a joke, you guys. It's like what I bring all the time.
It actually took me a second. I was like, has she never?
Yeah, no, I have. I definitely have. Both lots of audiobooks and lots of lesbian fiction and lots of lesbian fiction audiobooks. So here we are again. But I am who I am. So, God. So I just love this book so much. And I don't know where to start. And I will start.
It's actually an audiobook. I thought that was the joke, and I didn't realize the joke was that you hadn't brought it before. I thought you were like, it was actually something you hadn't brought before, and you faked this out with.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The
go
joke.
on.
Yeah.
I got it now.
He thought the joke was in the wrong place. It was. It's a lesbian fiction audiobook. So the book. I'll start with what it is. It's called Patience and Sarah. It's by Isabel Miller, and I'll start with how I heard about it. So I heard about it through another one of my obsessions, lesbian fiction audiobook, Annie on My Mind by Nancy Garden, which I talked about in episode 48. I talked about episode 48, Sat on a Trout That Was on a Tray. And in the book, Annie on My Mind, the characters discover this book called Patience and Sarah, and it's mentioned a few times in the book, enough to make me wonder if it was actually a real book. And at the end of Annie on My Mind, Nancy Garden there's like a Q&A with the author Nancy Garden, who's the late Nancy Garden, unfortunately. And she talked about this book being a huge influence on her and on her writing, because it's like this book that was about like lesbian characters that had a happy ending. Remember when I talked about Annie on My Mind, I was like so impressed with it, and then really impressed to learn, it had been written in the 1980s. Mm-hmm. Well, Patience and Sarah was written in 1969 and is absolutely stunning. It's just, yeah. Oh, you guys, you got me.
I had to unmute myself for that one.
So it was written in 1969. Okay.
Nice.
And it's just it's beautiful. I just love it. And it's a historical fiction book. It takes place in 1816. So
wow.
So it takes place in 1816, between 1816 and 1817. And it's about two women, Patience and Sarah, who meet each other and fall in love, and then against all odds, in 1816 America, like New England, America, and against all odds set out to choose each other and choose to make a life together. And it's just beautifully written. The audiobook is amazing and was nominated in 2016 for a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Album.
Oh wow. So
the narration is just absolutely gorgeous. Wonderful. Some more facts about it. So it was inspired Nancy Garden to write Annie on My Mind, which was a book I raved about in episode 48. In episode 15, I talked about the book I read that I really was obsessed with, called The Price of Salt. That title was taken from a line in Patience and Sarah.
Wow. You found the source code for all of your
books.
Yes,
in episode 4, I talked about my favorite author, Sarah Waters, who writes lesbian fiction that I absolutely love. Mm-hmm. She said, here's a quote.
She is Sarah.
Here is a quote. Here's a quote from the Patience and Sarah Wikipedia page. Sarah Waters, the author of Tipping the Velvet and other historical novels with lesbian themes, has said that this book was an influence on her writing. She received the book from a girlfriend. I don't know what they mean by that. Maybe a friend who is female. I don't know what they mean by that.
Probably a close pal.
Probably a gal pal. I think they meant to say gal pal. She received the book from a gal pal in 1988 at age 22 and was struck by the lyricism and economy of it, by its gentle humor, and by its sexiness. So this book, as you like so eloquently put, is the source code. It's the book that like basically wrote all the books that I love.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like I found the book and like loved it, and then like did some research, and I'm like, oh yeah, everybody who has written a book that I love wrote it because of this book.
Wow.
So it's just, it's so good. And so I finished the audiobook and then immediately started it again. I'm like halfway through my second listen. Just love it. So I wanted to play a clip.
Nice.
From it. So I'm going to play you the clip. It's a little over 2 minutes. I'm sorry I couldn't get it any shorter.
While you're looking for that, I have a question for you. Do you often re-listen to audiobooks that quickly, or is this a very special case?
I've never done that before. Yeah, this is a first. Okay. I've got the volume all the way up. Let me know if you can hear this. Okay.
Hi, my politest voice.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
That actually sounded pretty good.
We can hear it fine, by the way. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let me just rewind it a little bit.
Are you leaving?
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Hey, she said, you get on with your dinner
Hold on.
and I'll get on.
Hold on.
Did you just shush us?
We didn't say anything.
I'm offended.
Hold on.
I felt her gaze. She was trying by the strength of her wish to make me turn.
Hold on.
She looked right at the camera and
Okay, I'm ready.
us.
I'm ready. You ready?
Okay.
Shh. I'm not starting it over.
Won't you look at me? Oh, wasn't I? My politest voice. I'm sorry. Are you leaving? Must you? Oh, I can't go away without kissing you. And I felt her lips on my cheek, nibbling towards my mouth and getting there and staying. And I knew why she'd been afraid and wondered why I hadn't been. Why I had lured this mighty mystery and astonishment into the room, into our lives. I turned my head to save my life. Did I hold you too hard? Did I hurt you? Oh no, I said. I pressed her even closer to show. Was that a feeling I felt in you? I hesitated and then told True. Yes. She turned her face up, with the look of Jacob granted the angel's blessing. Her fear was over. Mine not. That's something powerful, girl, I said. She nodded, breathing through her mouth because she'd just come up from deep water. Then she looked down at me, all seriousness except a little turning up of the right corner of her mouth. I looked back, serious entirely, because it was up to me to save us from a thirst we could never come to a pause in or rest from. I was older. It was up to me. She wouldn't look away. She wanted the corner of my mouth up, too. And when at last I gave her that, she kissed me again. Oh, we were begun. There would be no way out except through. And that thought, that whatever this was, I would live it, made it containable. I can't explain why. I only know what happened.
So just great writing, great narration. One thing I would like to point out, too, is that it's based on a real-life painter named Marianne Wilson, who lived with her companion, Miss Brundage, a farmer in 19th century in Greene County, New York. So
beautiful. The writing is really beautiful.
Yeah, it's really just stunning. I loved it. It's my new favorite book. Like, it has pushed out my old favorite book, which is Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. But I feel fine with that because, like, that book basically inspired my favorite author to write. My previous favorite author to write that book. So
it's interesting. I really like how the publisher's summary puts this, because I think there would be sort of I think anytime that we or like people talk about LGBTQ media of any kind, like when we talk about lesbian novels or whatever, there's like a risk of making it sound like they could only be interesting or useful to lesbian or queer people, you know. And this at the end of the publisher summary. It says, in addition to being an inspiring love story, the audiobook for Patience and Sarah is an ideal listen for young adult audiences. It is a story that shows how irrelevant race, religion, and gender are to love, and that loving and being loved are what keep us human and sane.
That is a good description.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's just, I think it's such an amazing, like, even just from those 2 minutes, it's like, it's such an amazing sort of real, like, very true feeling description of what it's kind of like to be in love with someone.
Yeah, the whole book is like that, just little turns of phrase that like capture moments really beautifully. And like the book was written in you know, the late 60s. It was about people who lived in, you know, the early 1800s, but these feelings are, their circumstances are different, but these feelings that exist between human beings have not changed. Like these are like the things that are being described are like as we feel that, as I feel them, and they're just so beautifully put. I love it. I just love this book. I love it. It's like every moment is beautiful. It's just, I think that's what Sarah Waters was getting at when she said the economy of it. It's just beautiful and perfect throughout. And there's not any, there's, you know, tension and hurdles, but they're not frustrating. They feel very necessary to the plot and not just like extremely frustrating. And I'm not sad to say, because it's, I think, a common thing about the book, it has a happy ending and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I loved it. I was just so happy to find it, and check it out. I will, one more thing, I think there has been like a previous audiobook of it. This is like, unfortunately, the one that was nominated for a Grammy and that I am enjoying is only through Audible. So that's just something to note. But I'm gonna buy the book and enjoy reading it for the first time and rereading it many times to come. The end.
Why are you gonna read it?
Wow.
Bazinga.
Got
Holy
me.
shit. I just realized
warm in here.
that I forgot an upfront thing.
Oh, what's your up front thing? What's your up middle thing?
Kylie and I went to San Diego on Saturday.
Wow.
Which was
congratulations.
Well, and that's... Wow. All right. Is that how we treat each other on the show?
Wow.
Sorry.
Not whatever your obsession is, I'm going to respond like that.
What if it's like her love for you, her brother?
Oh, wow. That's fucking awesome, Hannah.
Wow, he's capable of anything.
I really just want to talk about one thing about San Diego. It was my absolute favorite part about San Diego, which is that there are fucking electric scooters everywhere.
We have those.
And you do you have, what company is it?
Bird.
Yeah, they have Bird, and they have Lime, and they have Wind, and they have fucking Razor. There are 4 different ones, and Bird's the most common, but like it's the fucking, they're so fun. They're all over the place. You just get an app on your phone and you can rent a scooter and you unlock it and then you can just ride it around, and it's fucking they're so fast and they're so fun.
We don't have them in Durham, but we have them in downtown Raleigh, and Molly and I are like absolutely obsessed with
they're
them.
so great
around
I like want to go back to San Diego to ride more scooters. Like, they're legitimately and not only are they so fun, they're like actually so useful and not that expensive. It's like $1 to ride, and it's like 15 cents per minute after that or something. Like, it's just not that much.
Our attitude of like going to downtown Raleigh, which is 30 minutes away, has completely changed since we found the scooters were there. Like, before we were like, ew, gross, we're not going to go there. And now we're like, let's plan a day date and scoot around all day. And even like, we were there for a conference and we're like, ooh, let's park far away at like the lot that is less crowded and scoot.
Yes.
And it was so great.
Oh, I'm so glad you experienced them too. They're the fucking best.
Yeah. They're so fun. They're so fun.
Do you have to like actually scoot at all? I'm seeing people putting their feet down.
You have to start it. You have to like push a few times, and then it like then you can like just stand on it and use the electric part.
You just really need like one good push, though, in my experience.
Cool.
Push.
These are pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're fucking
they go
great.
So fast. Like they keep up with like traffic downtown shouldn't be going very fast, and like they keep up with whatever the speed the cars are going.
That's it. That's all I want.
Great
I just really wanted to talk about the scooters.
I have heard that the inhabitants of cities really hate the scooters, and I'm like, well,
I don't give a fuck. I love them.
I love them.
Okay, but okay. So, Erin, do you have anything else to say about your book?
No, listen to it. Listen to it. It's so good. I love it.
Awesome. Great obsession, Erin. Thank you for the clip. Really gave a great taste.
Yeah.
Of the flavor of the book. Dude, what else did you in San Diego, Ben? I'm sorry that I had a knee-jerk congratulations reaction.
We went to Little Italy down there, and we went to Balboa Park, which is like this giant park that has like the San Diego Zoo and like a fuck ton of museums in it. We happened upon a dog park and just sat in it and watched some fluffy dogs for a while.
That's nice.
And then went to the San Diego Museum of Man, which is it's an alright museum. It's pretty small, but it's nice. And they had an exhibit about cannibals,
just one
which
man.
is actually really interesting. I'm gonna ignore that. But yeah, the cannibal exhibit was cool.
Which man?
The cannibal. And then we scooted all the way back to the pier by the coast to catch the end of the sunset. We scooted like 2 miles, and it took like half an hour. Like, it was so good.
It's so great.
And then we got dinner at this nice brewery, and I had the most delicious peanut butter cup stout or porter or something. It was so good. It was better than the other one I had.
How far is that from where you are living, Ben?
San Diego? It's about hour 15.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's like a little closer than, or at least like time-wise, it takes a little less time to get there than it does to LA, because there's always more traffic going into LA.
I love how you guys are just like exploring.
Trying to, yeah.
That's great. That's nice.
Kylie loves San Diego. She has to go there for work, and so she wanted me to see it.
That's great.
Yeah.
How often does she go for work?
Every other week.
For the whole week?
No, just Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Every other Wednesday.
Yeah, that would be a better way to say that.
Yeah, that would feel like way more clearly. 100%.
Hey Ben.
Yeah.
What's your obsession?
Is it Scooter?
No, it's
I'm like a bird, only scoot away.
I wasn't sure what to do this week because I've been so busy with school that I hadn't had time to be obsessed with a lot of stuff. But one thing I am super excited for is that we're going to be playing D&D soon. And so that's my obsession. Because I've been consuming a lot of D&D content lately. I already talked about Critical Role. Also have been listening to the Adventure Zone finally. Been zooming through that.
Nice. Like a scooter.
It's so good. Zooming like a scoot, like a cannibal on a scoot.
Like a man on a scoot.
And like a manable, and then
there it is. It was somewhere, and there it was.
And it just like it makes me. Well, hey, get out of there. Listening to listening to Emerson and watching Critical Role like at the same time, not simultaneously, but you know what I mean. It makes me really excited to play D&D myself because like it's the same game, but it's just so different because it's a different DM and like just like a different atmosphere. Yeah. But they're both equally entertaining and like fun to watch and to listen to. Like they're both funny and they both have like some serious moments, but just like totally different in every other way except for that it's D&D. You know, like I don't know. It's just like makes me really excited. And I like started to. Critical Role has a sponsor that's D&D Beyond, which is this like website for like all things D&D basically, and they have like a character creator thing that you can go through. And Kylie and I have been going through and making ours bit by bit, and it's just like really fun to like read through all the different abilities and like try and think about, because like I think to make D&D really fun, you have to like have a really good idea of not just like what your character's abilities are, but like who they are, what their backstory is, like what their whole deal is before you get started. And so it's been fun to try and like just like, I don't know, while I'm like walking around between classes, like muse on what something about my D&D character's backstory has been like a nice little distraction from school, which has been really good.
Ben, I am so glad that you brought this obsession, because this has also been what I've been obsessed with all week, and I was not going to bring it, and I'm not going to talk too much about it, because like I think that there's something to be said for leaving a lot of stuff about your character and their backstory as like a mystery for the people that you're playing with and stuff. But I've been thinking about my character like at work, like all the time, just like thinking about like different things that I can do with the like character that I'm gonna be, like with the like race and class that I've chosen, and like thinking about like motivations and all these things. And I've been thinking a little bit that like, I don't know what you guys think about this, but one thing that the Adventure Zone and Critical Role do have in common is people do character voices. And I think I might want to actually make an effort for the first time in my life in a D&D campaign to try to actually come up with a consistent character voice and do it.
In her life.
In my life. Because I think it really helps kind of like bring consistency and like get you in the mindset, along with also being just like easier for other people to understand what's going on. If you can
I've been thinking about that. And what I like about Critical Role is that there's a good mix of like people who don't really do a voice, even though they're all voice actors. And like Liam, one of them is like always in his character voice while they're playing, basically.
Yeah, Jester kind of is too.
Yeah, Jester is too. And but then like you have Sam, the guy playing Not, who just like has this over the top, ridiculous, like high pitched Cockney accent voice that he does just to kind of like, I don't know, it's a good mix of like people fucking around and people like very seriously role playing a character.
Yeah.
And those things can go together, and you could do like no actual like role playing your character that much, and it could still be fun. So yeah, I've been considering that too, actually. I don't know. I'm not great at voices.
I'm just excited.
You're not even good at your own. So.
Oh wow! Fuck.
Erin, I'm curious what you're thinking about this. Are you feeling like you're being dragged into this potentially against your will?
No. You asked if I wanted to do it, and I said I'd be willing to try. Here's where I'm at. I don't know yet if I'm gonna be any good at it. Like, I'm not.
All right, stop right there. You can't be bad at it.
Well, no, it's just like I don't know what to do. I don't know like if my character should be somebody like really different than me, or just like someone that I would like look up to or like admire, or like, I like don't know how to do it. I don't know like what I'm supposed to be, and I'm not good about like, I'm not like an actor of any sort. I like can't even do an accent. I'm like so in my head about it. So I don't know like how to be somebody else. You know what I mean? Or do it correctly for the game, if that makes any sense.
You've played D&D before though, haven't you?
Just one time. Yeah.
I think.
And I felt like I was just an extension of myself, but executed very badly. Like the whole time I was like, am I making this decision, or is my character making this decision? But I'm making this decision because I'm making this decision, but my character's making it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, I sort of think I've never like the longest. The thing with D&D is that like I think it's really hard to get on a consistent schedule with people. So like I've started several campaigns in my lifetime, like maybe 3 or 4, but like I don't know why I keep saying in my lifetime.
She's been playing since infancy.
I don't know, but I like, very few of them have gotten far enough that I feel like I've like fully like gotten like to know the character that I was playing or whatever. But really, like, I think the way that you get yourself pumped up, at least this time, the way I'm getting myself pumped up about it is like, I just started looking through all the like the race options in the on D&D Beyond, and just like just reading like what their special abilities are. Like they do a really good job of like summarizing for each one.
Yeah.
And like rather than think about like which is the most like you or the most not like you, or whether you want to play one or the other, like I would think more about like what sounds fun to play. Like what that's all. You know, you don't have to be honestly any good at it from the beginning. And like just because I'm going to be trying to do a character voice for myself doesn't mean that you have to feel pressure to do that. Because Ben was just talking about how it's like, you know, there are people who do barely any character voice, and people who do like all character voice.
Yeah, I think I brought up the, like, I can't even do an accent, less on the, like, I don't want to do a character voice, and more like, that's how much I'm bad at acting, is I can't even do an accent of any kind. You know, I think, like, that is always a signifier to me of, like, somebody who can really act, is, like, they can, like, remove themselves from themselves and, like, put themselves into somebody else. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I think I'm also at a place, like, I don't know if I'm interested in it yet, but I don't want to say that until I actually like play it, you know. So I'm trying to get hyped.
I also don't think that I don't think of it as acting. I don't think I think you know, I think it's just like kind of more like group imagining. I mean, I guess technically it would be role playing, but like that also kind of seems like, but you know, it's not like you are like trying to meet any specific goal or get any specific lines right or anything. You're just like playing around in a space with an identity.
That helps me actually a lot. That really does.
Like, glad.
Group imagination, because like that I can do. I can imaginate.
Yeah.
I can imagination.
But that's fine. It's also fine if like you try it and you're like, I don't think I like it that much. That's also fine. Like it's not like you have to be locked in forever if you don't like it. Cool.
I do want to try it.
Good.
So
hell yeah, we can just kill your character off if you don't like it.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds good. So I think going to the website and starting, I think that helps me that there's a website and I can go and work on character development.
So excited.
Wow.
You're like, you've just like donned a cape.
Well, I'm just excited because I'm trying to like contain myself because I'm really excited about this. This is I think I'm the most excited about this character as I've ever been about any character, and I think I've thought the most about this character of anything. So it's like really hard for me not to talk about them. So I have to stop talking.
She's having to change her physical appearance in order to like stop herself from talking.
Well, here's what you guys already know. Okay, so I can tell the world this. Okay,
it didn't work.
My character is a changeling warlock. Warlock.
She doesn't even
sorcerer.
know. She doesn't even know.
Sorcerer. Yeah.
Changeling sorcerer.
Como just reached his paws out on my computer.
This is the first time in your life that you've been a changeling sorcerer.
Yes, it is. And I have a lot of great ideas about them, and I'm just really excited. And here's an interesting thing about changelings. They don't have very much of a connection to gender because they can change anything about their body at any time as long as they're still like a bipedal person or a bipedal thing of like a similar size to them.
So they go by they, them?
Yeah, I'm thinking that they're probably going to go by they, them. But like it'll be more
will
like...
Will they care if they're not any gender? Do they care if they're misgendered?
I think so. Here's the thing: changelings can have a natural form, and I sort of have like made an avatar for like my sort of more male and more female natural forms, just like whichever one I feel like works best, you know, at the time or whatever. But most of the time, as a changeling out in the world, that form is like way too creepy, and people don't like it. So, a changeling spends most of their time like in a persona, and you can have like more than one persona, and a persona is kind of like you have some like it has some structure. It's something that you come back to. You can have like special proficiencies based on that are like doubled when you're in a certain persona because it's like their proficiency. But you can have more than one. So I right now I have two that I've like kind of come up with, and there's one that's like a man and one that's a woman.
Oh, cool.
So it's gonna be like I will go by they when maybe like I'm in disguise as something, or like just like when it makes sense, but like it'll also make sense to call me back. Like it'll just be fun playing with pronouns. I'm really excited about that part of it.
That's fun. Oh, okay, that sounds fun.
You know what's cool about Critical Role in that respect too is the DM Matt Mercer puts in like a very conscious effort to make the cast of NPCs very like diverse and representative. Like he had they met a character who was like a Crown's Guard chief or something who was gender fluid, and then they like met another character who they had to like smuggle his boyfriend out of the city to keep him safe. Like it was just like it's just like little things like that where he like in fantasy world you don't often see like gay couples or non-binary people at all.
It's going to be all up in our D&D game.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Actually, on that note, I'm sorry I'm stealing your obsession, Ben, but there is a new podcast that just came out called Queer Dungeoneers, which has a bunch of queer people playing queer characters, playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, cool.
And it's good. I listened to the first couple episodes, and it's fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a quick up-middle thing.
Okay.
I'd like to do our first ever WayTooBroad podcast award nomination.
Is it a nomination or an award?
I think it's an award.
Okay.
I'd like to give an award to Ben. For the first host to ever eat a sandwich during their obsession. Ben was straight up like on mute eating a sandwich.
I've been doing it since yours. Did you not notice?
No, I was too busy talking.
While we were listening to the clip, I was chowing down.
I did
Listen,
not.
I'm very hungry. I got home and then went straight to recording.
Yeah, you're fine. You're good.
I did not see it at all. That's how busy I was talking.
Yeah. He was slaying a sandwich during your portion of his segment.
I'm not gonna lie, probably gonna do it during Hannah's too. Yeah. You want to pop in there, Hannah?
Dig into that vegan
sandwich?
Chicken patty.
Jeez. Cool. Great obsession, Ben. Very excited. Very, very excited about that.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we playing?
Well, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But we're gonna do. I know you probably can't make it depending on what time, but we're gonna do like a brainstorm together session on Monday, this coming Monday, the day after this is released.
Any time on Monday. Unfortunately, okay. I'm going to a hockey game after work.
Whoa,
thing.
Hey Ben, is there anything that you want to tell us about your character before we move on?
No.
Nothing at all.
Secret. Well, I can tell because I already told you he's a gnome bard.
So cool. I love.
I'm gonna be little.
I love gnomes. I played a gnome in my last game.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
What really sold me on it was the tinker ability.
Yeah. Where
you can like make little things. I love that.
Hannah, was that the first time in your life that you've been a gnome? Last time in your lifetime?
Yeah, it was.
So it's a gnome entity now.
Like known. I get
it. I worked in both a dig at you and a pun. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that?
Great job. Way to go.
Thanks.
Okay, cool.
Great obsession, Ben. Looking forward to doing that with you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. So, Welcome to me now. Hello.
Pop in, Hannah. Pop in.
Hello, everybody. I'm Hannah.
Hello.
I was struggling because, as I said, my actual obsession has been D&D also. But since I didn't want to bring that, I had a couple of options. The thing I think I want to talk about, because I think it's something that everybody that's on here and many of our listeners would also get enjoyment out of, is a YouTube channel that Ian and I have been watching a lot of this week. Actually, so this is the second week in a row I've brought YouTube channels, but this one's very different from last week.
Bring it.
Okay, so the name of the channel is NileRed, N-I-L-E, Red. This is a channel run by one person. He's a Canadian chemist, and he seems to have some sort of like chemistry lab kind of set up maybe in his garage or something, because he does mention that most of these things, I think all of these things, he does at home, not like in his lab, but I'm almost certain that he's a professional chemist because of the way that he talks. So basically he does all these like fun chemistry experiment things. He does like a thing where he tries to make ferrofluid, for instance, or he does this like weird reaction like where in like a little test tray where where it like creates this undulating reaction, so the whole thing just looks like 70s backgrounds, like, you know, just like he makes
70s backgrounds of what?
Like TV and stuff, like orange and purple and like circles and round shapes and ripples and things. Cool.
I thought you meant like desktop backgrounds, and I was like, I don't think so.
Good, thank you for asking for clarification.
Timeline doesn't check out.
He's just like
70s website backgrounds, you know those.
He just does like whatever comes to mind. Like, let me read you some of these. Extracting the dye in jeans. Experimenting with photochromism, but then the little thumbnail says, I made color changing bears, and it's got like a bunch of gummy bears and they're all different colors. He makes Prussian blue, which is an old-timey dye. Here's one where he making fuming nitric acid. That doesn't sound safe.
No.
Making edible blue dye. Turning paper into plastic, growing lead crystals, making glow stuff. That's the name of one. Here's one. I haven't watched this one. I don't know if I want to. Extracting urea from my own pee.
Wow.
Oh, God. Okay.
And then
his own pee.
Yes, and then he keeps that. Okay, because he keeps the urea and he uses it in experiments later. And the way that you know that is because, one, he tells you that that's what it is, and two, he labels it urea, parentheses, mine.
My very own.
Yeah. But it's funny because he's like, okay, so he's got this like kind of, you know, he voiceovers like basically the entirety of everything that he does. And he's got this kind of like very kind of sweet, non-threatening sort of dorky voice that like Bonus has a Canadian accent. And he also clearly has a lot of experience and training with like doing lab reports and like the scientific method and stuff, because he's meticulous in how he does everything, and he explains every little step of what he's doing, including the point where he gets to the end and he just kind of wants to like try some stuff. So he's just like, and then I decided to do this because I just thought it would be fun, or I just thought it would look cooler. Like it's like as if he's making like a procedural, like he's like documenting the procedure of his very important experiment, but the end goal of the experiment is just like to make a fun video. But it's like he'll spend a whole extra 10 minutes in the middle just explaining to you exactly how he made his fun video in as much detail as possible. It's just like really sweet and cute, and we really enjoy him. He's just a silly kind of nerdy guy, and it's nice because like, I don't know, also like in this day and age there's something refreshing about just like hearing a scientist talk about their methods and remembering that like the scientific method is like a real thing that exists for a reason, and it does make you like it does mean something, and science is not just like people making shit up and then other people going out and talking about like how they're lying. Like that always seems to be, you know, that even like whenever like a headline comes out and it's like, oh, science thinks this, and then it's like the next week the other thing comes out and says the opposite, and then people are like, science is bullshit. Well, no, like you can't take like, you know, hours and or years worth of research and synthesize it into 5 words and have that be accurate, you know?
Yeah.
So It's just cute. I just like it. And also, he's got like branded everything. All of his beakers and all of his like measuring cups, and like he has socks that have his like logo on them. Like everything that he uses says NileRed on it, like the name of his YouTube channel. But he's just like making these videos in his garage. I mean, they get a lot of views. Like the most recent one has almost 300,000 views. So I guess he probably makes some money off of that, and that's great. Great for him.
I don't think that's like enough for like branded socks. I don't know. Not to be a hater. It seems sweet though.
Yeah, he's sweet. He's just sweet. I just like him.
Nile.
Yeah. So go check him out if you like that kind of thing. There's one where he's playing with Mercury. He makes a pharaoh serpent. He makes a cool thing with aluminum and Mercury.
Okay, the pharaoh serpent has like 2 million views. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, the aluminum and Mercury has 8.9 million views.
Aluminum and Mercury. What does he do?
Dude, I did not know this, but apparently if Mercury comes in direct contact with aluminum, it like, he explains it in the video, but it's like so fast that he talks. But but basically like it makes the aluminum oxidize, or it makes it like, I don't know, it just like, you can kind of see it in the thumbnail for the video, but like
looks like a jellyfish.
Yeah, he made like a little divot in the center of it, and he put the Mercury in the center of this like plate of aluminum, and he had to scratch it a little bit because there is like a naturally, there's a protective kind of like layer that forms over aluminum, and that may actually be the normal oxidation. Yeah. And then but if you scratch it, and if it does come in direct contact, then it just starts reacting in this way where like the aluminum just like basically grows up like out the sides of whatever, part of it is.
That's so cool.
It's why you're not allowed to take any amount of mercury on a plane, because all planes are like made of aluminum.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. But I did learn at the end of this video that you would have to put a lot of mercury on a lot of aluminum for a very long time for it to actually cause like significant and like deep reaching damage in the aluminum. So nobody panic. So yeah.
That's like fucking growing up. That's cool.
It's really neat, right?
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah.
Or are you also watching it right now?
Yeah.
I guess we'll put a link to this video in the
I can't wait to watch it with audio afterwards.
Yeah, holy shit. That looks fake. That looks like CG fucking eye.
It's sped up, but it's real. Yeah.
Cool.
He's just nice. I just like him.
He's nice.
So that's mine. That's it.
Cool. Good one.
Thanks. Everybody check him out. Erin, what's your homework?
That's such a cool reaction. Okay. Hello. My homework. Friggin' listen to the Audible audiobook of Patience and Sarah. It was nominated in 2016 for a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Album. What does that tell you? That's like legit.
That's legit.
If you don't like audiobooks, buy the book from your local bookseller. I'm going to be ordering the book from my local bookseller here next week, so that I can read it time and time again for years to come. Okay. Hannah's joke, not mine. My Twitter's at EarnBurn. I review lesbian movies, and I actually do again at LesbianMovieReviews on Instagram. I'm in the midst of a 30-day project called hashtag 30 Days of Songs, where I release a song every day on my website, earnburn.com. Right now, today is day 9, and on Sunday it'll be day 10. No.
11.
12. 11. And, so yeah, go check that out.
Oh yeah, and I think I said this last week too, but if you go to our Instagram and check our stories, our highlights, all of them, the links are in there on WayTooBroad.
Yeah, thanks, Han. And, there was one more thing. Oh, go to earnben.com.
Yeah.
ERNBEN.com as well. For not a song every day, but for something else. That you could also go to there every day if you wanted to.
Yeah, I would suggest you make it your homepage.
Yeah, that was
Personally.
Absolutely.
Ben.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, it is.
My homework is fucking play D&D. Maybe watch Critical Role, listen to the Adventure Zone, listen to the other millions of D&D podcasts Hannah listens to. Go to my Twitter, Nicely Proved Ben. Check out that hot new Como vid that's up there when he got on top of the shower in our bathroom and then just lied down, even though the thing he was lying on was like 2 inches wide, so he looked real silly. It's fucking cute.
Forgot to mention that. We were going to talk about that up front, too.
Well, talking about it out back.
Out back.
That's it, I think. Earnben.com. Go there for anything you need.
Anything at all. Anything
you need, you can find it there.
If you don't need that, then you don't need anything at all.
Correct.
Hannah, on to you.
Right. No, I already did that part. My homework. I was going to say obsession. Check out NileRed on YouTube. I'll put up a link to the video that Erin and Ben were watching at the end of this, and on Twitter. So you go on Twitter, you find the link, you click on the link, you watch the video. You can jump around a little bit. He does talk a lot, but it's endearing, you know. Yeah, remember, science is good, and that's it. And then also my Twitter is at Hanthropology. I have a podcast other than this one. It's called So Dreamy. We talk about dreams, and we're doing more dream tweet stories this week.
Why was that clapped?
Wow, are you like a cheerleader now?
For dream tweet stories, yes, I'm very excited about it. I had forgotten how fun they were to write, but they were a lot of fun to write, and so I'm excited to share those with the world. Basically, a lot of people use Twitter like a dream journal. So Rachel and I, sometimes we take, just for the listener, we take some of those tweets and just string them together to try to make a cohesive story. And they're always really weird and fun.
I'd like to point out Ben's empty threat about being like, good fucking for you for whatever you said your obsession was. He never fucking did that. He never fucking did that.
Can we?
Empty
all right,
threats.
Can I drop it, Hannah, and you can drop it in the edit?
Sure, go ahead.
Make it really obvious, though.
Wow, big fucking deal, Hannah.
Yeah, that's good.
Great. Yep. No, I'll definitely do that.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So for the podcast, if you want to talk to us on the Twitter, you can find us at what? You can find us at TOBroadPod, TOO Broadpod on Twitter. Oh, by the way, I wanted to point out to double shout out our friend Eamon from our friend, but yeah. He sent us this, I wanted to point out this. You can go look at Twitter and you can see this tweet, but also Erin had told us about her extremely bizarre beverage choices last week, and she did ask people not to be up in her mentions about it, and I need to point out that Eamon respected that request because he only added to us at Two Broad Pod. He called the drink the Earn Burn, but he did not at her in it.
Thank you, Eamon.
Well done.
What's the drink?
Okay, ingredients: ginger peach sparkling water that's not very good. Parentheses, good is fine if you can't find bad. Secondly, gin and grapefruit juice. 3, pint of chocolate milk. Steps.
Look.
No, you gotta figure out how to make it, Erin.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Steps. 1, drink the chocolate milk first to lay a good foundation for the other 2 drinks. 2, get wild.
I love good is fine if you can't find bad.
Because peach is good. Because we said that. Okay, cool. So that's
Thanks, Eamon, for A, not being up in my mentions, and B, for creating the Earn Burn drink inspired by my totally fine beverage choice, which I felt great about. And still stand by.
That's great.
Things smooth sailing that night. I'm happy to report. No rough waters at sea, if you know what I mean. Everything was fine.
Yep, we know what you mean. Yeah, so that's a great example of like how you could interact with us on Twitter, or what you could go to Twitter to find as far as great content goes.
And how to not be up in my mentions. How to respectfully not be up in my mentions about my beverage choices.
Right.
All right? A woman's right to choose her beverages. Okay?
We are a pro-choice podcast, so...
Yeah.
This just really caught me by surprise. Okay. All right.
Gotcha.
You can also email us if you want to complain about that joke at waytoobroad@gmail.com. You can go visit our website for anything that you might need, waytoobroad.com for all your needs.
No. Earnben.com for all your needs.
What? Then what's on our website now?
Your Way Too Broad needs.
Everything you want. Everything you want's on Way Too Broad. Everything you needs on earnben.com.
I gotta change the outro then. So go to our website, waytoobroad.com for anything you want. And go to earnburn.com for anything you need.
Earnben.com.
Earnben.com for anything you need.
Yes.
Listen, guys, you have to put the www in front of it right now.
Yeah,
Erin's
I'm gonna try to fix that.
No, after I did it the first time, it worked without it.
I don't think it does, because I just tried it during
Here we go.
recording.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to fix that.
It doesn't.
I don't know why.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, www is a subdomain. So
cool.
It's like this whole thing. I gotta fix it, and I'm sorry I haven't.
I'm just letting everybody know you have to right now. You have to put in www. But if you can remember to do that, you can get anything you need there.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and what else? Oh, please leave us a rating on iTunes. Of 5 stars, please. Leave
the writing on the wall.
Leave an essay on iTunes.
Leave us
Do
an original work of your writing on iTunes in the reviews section.
Write my new favorite book
on our
review
reviews.
at iTunes
Yes,
review.
please.
Well said.
You heard me.
That's it. So then, call us. You can call us too. You can leave us a voicemail.
Call me, maybe.
You sounded like Seinfeld. Call us. Like
what? No.
I'm
call
bad at
us.
impressions.
You can call us at our phone number. It's just a voicemail. 774-326-0420. Blaze it.
Blaze it.
Blaze. And then that's all of it. So then, thanks for listening, and have a wonderful week.
Yeah, have a great week.
And the podcast candle is now extinguished.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
We love you.
Bye.
Take care of yourself out there. You were strong. You were smart.
You're invincible.
You were beautiful. Whoa. You were gassy.
Was that good?
Bad.
That's good.
Is that good for the podcast?